Are real estate prices coming down in the Annapolis Valley? Well, if you look at January stats, that's what they're telling us. Stick around, we're going to dig into it today. This is your January 2025 market update. Now, before we get into it, if you're new here, my name is Bruce McGaw, and I'm a real estate agent in the Annapolis Valley with Realty Town & Country. If you've been enjoying these videos, please hit that like and subscribe button. It's just going to help it to get pushed out to more people like yourself who might get some value from this information. And if you want to chat, you can always feel free to text, call, DM, email, send a carrier pigeon if you'd like, or you can book a meeting with me in the Calendly link in my description. All right, so what happened in January of 2025? Well, we saw a 17.7% decrease in the average sales price of single-family residential homes. This year, that price was $373,000, whereas last year, it was $454,000. So why so low of an average sales price in January? Well, statistics are only as good as the data they have available. So this January, we weren't seeing a massive influx of million-dollar properties being sold. This just means the vast majority of the homes that were sold were around that price point. So this is great for buyers that are looking to break into the market. We're still seeing homes in that $300,000 to $400,000 price point, which means that those are some more attainable prices for those first-time home buyers. We had 51 new single-family residential homes listed in Kings County in January. That's up from 40 of last year. This is nice to see. We're seeing a good increase in listings. I think that's going to continue through the rest of this year. Now, I get asked a lot of time, should I wait for spring or should I be listing my home right now? And really the best answer is whatever works for you is going to be the best strategy. In the wintertime, there's less competition for houses that are available since there's less inventory. So if you're the only house that's listed on your street, you're going to get more exposure than, say, springtime. There's a possibility that there might be more properties that come up for sale on your street. The buyers that are usually active in the wintertime are often a lot more serious buyers because they're out there braving the elements because they really want to get a home. They likely want to have that home soon. We're still seeing interest rates falling, so that is bringing more buyer demand out, and it's increasing buyer confidence. And remember, if you're looking to buy another home and sell your current home, this could be quite an advantageous time for you to get that home listed. Keep in mind that if you're selling a home, you don't actually have to close that home the next day. Firming conditions and closing on the home can have a large stretch. So if you were able to firm conditions on your home that's sold, you could then start looking for a house to buy ASAP, and you would not need to have that extra condition of the sale/buyer's property. For closed sales in January, this number was quite close to what we saw last year. 2025, there were 26 homes closed. In 2024, there were 24 closed homes. We also saw quite a big increase in days on market. That rose 21% to 84 days. So while it felt like a little bit of a busier market for a lot of us realtors, that really didn't compute through to what we saw for sales. Now keep in mind, closed sales that we're seeing in that time of the year likely were firmed earlier in December or later in December. Some of those could have been January with quick closes, but likely the sales that we're seeing firmed up in January are probably going to be the ones that'll be in February statistics. We also saw a little bit of a decrease in the percentage of list price received ratio. That was sitting at 94.7% for January. I think that this is going to go up a little bit in February and continue to go up throughout the rest of the year. My forecast is that we're going to have a busy year in real estate here in Kings County, and that we're going to see more sales and more properties come online than we have in previous years. The last few years, after we saw the big rise in prices and sales in 2022, interest rates came up and they stayed up for a while. Now they're coming down, people are getting ready to move, and I think that we're going to see a lot of sales in 2025 compared to 2024. So does this mean a slower market favors buyers? Not necessarily. The wintertime is usually a slower market anyway, and those buyers that are out there right now are taking more time to see the properties that are going to work best for them. They're being a little bit slower, they're researching the properties first, and they're taking their time to find what works for them. I think when March comes, we get a little later in March, we're going to see a big uptick in listings and also a big uptick in buyer activity. If you were thinking about selling your home, what do you want to do in the winter? It may not be the most pleasant time, but it could be the most advantageous time for you to list. We saw a very small increase in months supply that went up from 2.6 to 2.7 for this year. And this tells us we are still in a seller's leaning market. Even though we're not seeing a lot of those over ask bids anymore, they are starting to come back, and I think that February's numbers are going to show that there's more homes going for sale over the list price and that competition may be returning. As always, I'm Bruce McGaw of Realty Town & Country. Thanks for taking the time to watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.